another beautiful day right here, and it's so nice to talk sport on a wonderful Friday morning, the 24th day of January 2025. We're right here to take you around the world of sport, bringing you details from home and abroad. As a matter of fact, this is not something that I do alone. I have my guests join me in the studio this morning as we talk sport. But then, before I introduce myself, we need to let you know that so much is happening, especially from the Europa League match that was played yesterday. I think hope is a little bit returning to some of the club. And don't forget that the transfer is going on. The rumor, it's always a speculation, and in every rumor they say there is an atom of truth. All of this we'll be looking at today, and how some of the Nigerian players are plying their trade in their various clubs around the world. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and of course it is Talk Sport on Global Television, and I have my guest joining me right here today. Our comrade is a sport administrator and a sport analyst, and his name is Richard Uboekong. Is right here in the studio this morning. It's good to have you in the studio.
Good morning to you also, and I think it is not belated. Happy New Year.
It's not. We've not seen this year. That's true. We've not seen this year.
Yes.
Well, it's a promising year, and of course, so much lined up for us in 2025. The Super Eagles got a new coach, and of course, the coach is up and doing. He got out to visit our players who are outside Nigeria, France. He went to England and a couple of other places to see key players, to visit key players, and his first assignment was to get to the Chan Eagles camp, where they were actually training in preparation for the Chan competition, which was later postponed, as a matter of fact. And as I tell you right now, some persons didn't really want him replacing Austin Eguavoen, but then the deed has been done, and he came in with a lot of promises. I don't know, since we've not seen this year, I think your piece of opinion, and a piece of your thought will be very important as far as this decision is concerned. He's already hitting the ground running, but then what do you think about his emergence, Eric Chelle?
Eric Chelle, I think I should first say he's welcome to Nigeria, and it will put a hold to all the quagmire about how good Eguavoen is and how bad he is. When we appoint our own person to head an institution in this country, there are lots of intrigues, lots of power plays. He is not good. He was this, he was that. Now that they have brought in Eric Chelle, can we keep our mouth shut and let the guy do the work?
All right, that's the bottom line. Eric Chelle, he has come to stay. As a matter of fact, he hits the ground running almost immediately, and he has said, well, they shouldn't worry. Nigerians should just hold their peace, that the end will justify the means. And of course, evidence is the end of arguments for every situation. So let's wait for the evidences that will come to play. Now let's get to Europa League and see how it actually happened for Manchester United. Even though some persons are saying, hey, come on, you beat Rangers and you're happy and you're excited about it. In fact, no one came to the competition to just come watch the others play. So it is a game. And as a matter of fact, let me just give a little breakdown of how that game went yesterday, so that we can get your reaction on that game. It was Manchester United and Rangers. They actually beat Rangers, but then it wasn't what a lot of people were expecting, because the margin was not so much the way some people were thinking. I don't see that as a flogging, by the way, because if you look at the pedigree of the two clubs, you will understand what I'm really talking about. So let's just get a little bit into what that game is all about. As a matter of fact, Tottenham Hotspur were able to edge a 5-game thriller against Hoffenheim, and of course Manchester United on their own part against Rangers. As a matter of fact, Manchester United needed just a late winner from Bruno Fernandes to see off Rangers 2-1. Any game that ends 2-1, 1-0, I will tell you this is a clash of the titans. I don't know what anyone will think about it, but then I feel that was a serious clash because the margin would have been maybe 4-0, 4-1, and as a matter of fact, but then this game ended 1-0 in the Europa League clash that happened yesterday night. The Red Devils actually seem to be hearing, and of course, so many rumors, but then what actually happened is that they headed towards what we call a narrow win after Jack Butland actually punched the ball into his own net by Cyril Dessa, came off the bench to actually grab a late equalizer for the Scottish side. The points move United now up to 4th in the league race, and of course Amorim must say something. Ruben Amorim's side are unbeaten after 7 fixtures in Europa, and of course a result away to Steaua Bucharest next week will actually ensure a top 8 finish that bypasses the playoff round. Rangers now 14th look almost sure to be in it. As a matter of fact, in all the games that were played, apart from that, the one that we've talked about already, we can also look at another game that is where Heung-min Son of Tottenham Hotspur actually scored twice as they actually won their match 2-0 at Hoffenheim. Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim, I said he must say something, he will keep talking. So you know, before now, people used to say, well, Jose Mourinho is the one that talks so much. But now we have a lot of talking coaches, you know. And you're right here after the game yesterday, Ruben Amorim has revealed that he might have lost 2 defenders in the Europa League, 2 good defenders. Let me tell you who they are in that yesterday night's game. At least Martins Delight was taken off at halftime, and that's not just all. He was replaced by Harry Maguire. Then Lenny Yoro was also substituted early in the second half with Tela Malaysia coming on in his place. Looking at this game, the 2 games that were played yesterday from the Europa League, what do you think? Well, the winning Tottenham Hotspur, then Manchester United. The game Tottenham actually played against Hoffenheim, then Manchester United played against Rangers, and of course Amorim is saying, hey, my God, I would have lost 2 of my good defenders, but then I think we're waiting for their recovery very soon. But then what do you think about this game? Was this exactly what you were expecting?
Like I will first and foremost agree with your analysis on 2-1 1-goal win in matches. For technical hands, these are almost the toughest outings for them, because you'll be afraid. Will there be a counter? Will there be a stray shot? Will the goalkeeper be good enough to protect us for the periods remaining? And until the final whistle, then will everybody say, oh yeah, we finally made it. We finally made it. For Manchester United playing against Rangers, Rangers they have history, though in Scotland. They have history, though in Scotland. But whenever they come out, they want to tell those English guys, but you can't play this much more than we do. Maybe you have one advantage over us or the other, but all the same, this leather ball, we also Sabian. So that Rangers lost narrowly in that match does not mean they should be a write-off, being written off in the encounter in the Europa League. As for Tottenham Hotspur, something amuses me in English soccer these days. the teams that before now were always in the mid-cadre qualify for Europa League, qualify for the Champions League, and etc. You see them burning like fire. Beating a team 5-0 in the 90 minutes encounter means they should watch the scoring ability of Tottenham Hotspur. But for the two games of yesterday, I give kudos to the coaches. They did a good work. And let the Manchester coach not frighten himself. He said he almost lost. He did not lose because the guys will soon come back.
All right.
Flying.
The guys will soon come back flying. Don't worry, there is nothing to fear. Amorim, just keep your game going.
Yeah.
Let's come back to Nigeria right now and talk about the Super Eagles. As a matter of fact, Super Eagles missed cap to 5 favorites to win AFCON. The Confederation of African Football, that is CAF, has ruled out the Super Eagles among the top 5 favorite team to watch in this year's African Cup of Nations. But the reigning African players of the year, Super Eagles, and of course Atlanta of Italy striker Demola Lookman has been listed as one of the top star to actually watch at the 2025 African Cup of Nations holding in Morocco. That's going to be later in the year. And of course, the championship is returning to Morocco 37 years after the 1988 edition won by Cameroon. The final draw of the 35th edition of the Premier African Football Competition will hold in Rabat, and that's on the 27th of January. We're already counting days as part of the countdown. CAF has named 5 teams to watch out for, while the Super Eagles, who are 3-time champions and runner-up at the last edition, are not mentioned at all. Some persons may be thinking, why should they not be mentioned? As a matter of fact, our sport analysts will be talking about that. But then, let me just intimate us that they are underachieving Western neighbor Benin Republic among the 5 teams to watch out for as the tournament is going to be coming up in Morocco. But Nigeria is not there, but Benin Republic is there as a team to watch out for. I don't know if this is some form of a mind game, but then top of the list of the team to watch out for in 2025 African Cup of Nations is the Elephant of Cote d'Ivoire. Then fresh from their dramatic victory on home soil earlier this year, the Elephants have everything to prove in Morocco. But then Nigeria is not among the 5 countries to watch out for in Rabat, Morocco. But then the Republic is there. I don't know what you're thinking right now. I don't know what's in your mind. I don't know.
I will state, as a matter of fact, that let us not be amongst the ones to the favorites.
You need a surprise.
Let it remain in that manner, so that it will not put unnecessary pressure on us. You know, the top Brazil of those days, what made Brazil crash was too much attention and focused on that country's soccer team. Then after which, with the numbers of stars that they have in that country, Brazil couldn't pick its best 11. You are usually having one problem or the other. I don't want that to happen to my country, Nigeria. Don't put us under any pressure. Shake off. Give to Benin Republic. Did you see Niger? Give it to them. If Sierra Leone is what attracts you, give it to them. But let us go to the field from the table stage, remain on the table, into the quarterfinal, into the semi-final, and this time into the final and winning. The last match between Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire, the Elephants, or what do they call them?
Yeah, Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire.
They won because it was their home soil. That was the team we defeated in the run-up to it. But they picked up. Surprisingly, the Elephants picked up. And until their match with Mali, Nobody gave them any hope of returning. And they returned and met us in the finals. So, to me, keep the heat to the other teams. Let us see what Benin Republic will play against the star-studded Nigerian side. By the way, who do the spectators across the continent want to watch? It is the Super Eagles.
Okay, that's the question. You can take it to the bank and cash it out. Who did the world want to watch? The African soil. Who do they want to watch? Which country would they be looking forward to? The Super Eagles cannot be taken out of it because they want to watch Ademola Lookman. They want to watch our own Victor Osimhen. And as a matter of fact, a host of other players, the Chukwuezes and the rest of them. All right, so let's get back. Still talking about the Super Eagles. The coach of the Super Eagles, Chelle, is to attend the draw in Morocco. Super Eagles head coach Eric is already scheduled for that ceremony for the 25 African Cup of Nations, and the draw will hold at the Mohammed V National Theatre in Rabat. That's going to be on Monday the 27th of January 2025. It will be his first major appearance since he was appointed the Super Eagles new boss, and of course Nigeria are expecting something very great, and they are expected to get a favorable draw for the next African Cup of Nation, which will be hosted by Morocco. Like I said, well, after the superb run at the 2023 African Cup of Nation in Cote d'Ivoire, the Confederation of African Football, that is CAF, is expected to release the procedure for the draw before Monday. And as a matter of fact, in case you don't know, 24 beautiful, strong countries have already secured a place at the biennial competition, and the Super Eagles were only denied a fourth AFCON trophy by inspired host Cote d'Ivoire, like the analyst just talked about it right now, and that was in the championship games that happened before now. Then since they won the qualifying group for the 2025 African Cup of Nations, which will be staged from December 2025, the Super Eagles are also among the top 6 ranked African teams on the FIFA ranking, and could therefore head on for the first round group, as a matter of fact, and that way they will avoid the continent's top team, including host Morocco. That is permutation for me. African Cup of Nations 2025 will be hosted by Morocco. We already know that, and don't forget that the game is going to be from December 21st, 2025 to January 18, 2026. So we still have a little time to actually prepare for that game. And of course, Eric Chelle, the Malian tactician, the Super Eagles gaffer, is attending a function for the first time. This is going to be his first appearance in CAF, as it has to do with anything regarding or related or connected to Nigeria's Super Eagles. And of course, the draw, you can hear that. Well, where Nigeria is, there is a form of permutation. Well, no matter what they do, Nigeria may not be in the position to be drawn with some of the top class. But then, which country do you think is a walkover as far as this game is concerned? I think wherever you are, you need to sit down, because we've actually had it tough with even Niger in the past. You know what I'm talking about, coach? So what do you think about Eric Chelle's appearance, and of course the draw that's going to be happening? What are you thinking for the Super Eagles? Are you also saying, I pray may they not put us for hard with hard country?
I will not pray.
Okay.
I will not pray. Let's go into the pitch and defeat whoever comes before us. There are no minnows in soccer in the world any longer. Benin Republic there was begging very many of us when we were young, traveling players to come and wear their jersey. I just imagine a country of the size of one local government area in Nigeria, and you want people to now say, I am from this country. I love my big awesomely like.
So that was the reason you didn't play for Niger Republic, because you want to be in a big country.
I remain a big
in Nigeria. You want to play for Nigeria.
So what I'm trying to say is, Charlie, let him go to Morocco. Whoever they give us, it is going to be 11 versus 11. And you mentioned the likes of Lukman Ademola, mentioned Trust Ekong, you mentioned Victor Osimhen, the one that is scoring goals like if he's pouring out water in Turkey, and several other ones like that. And you think those boys do not want upper ratings, super ratings, so that if they are paying £50 million to one particular player, nothing stops our players from going beyond the 75 million pounds ranking. So these boys themselves knows what it needs to play for Nigeria. And having gotten to this stage, we are not going to stop at being finalists. We will stop at coming home with the championship, with the cup this time around. So Charlie, just cool, just like your name is, just cool air.
Chill.
Whoever they bring for us, our 11 boys will understand their 11 boys.
Okay, meaning the boys are equal to the task.
They are equal to the task.
Okay.
Look, I have been going through football all across the globe recently. I keep on seeing the way and manner the Nigerian boys are performing. How don't you bring in the very best 11 and they fumble?
That has happened in the past, where Nigerians are saying, you guys disappointed us. You don't play the way you're playing in your club side, the way you play back home.
What was the situation at the national camp then? You see, you don't build on something you don't have. Our camp was just back, like our former coach said one time, wobbling and fumbling to the finals. We need strategy, and the camp itself must be filled with, oh guy, you are not doing well in that direction, can you please do it like this? And the person accepts his fault, because there's no superhuman being anywhere. Victor Osimhen is not near being a superhuman being. So what was the situation like in those days? How did some of these boys get into the camp? So something went wrong, and before we knew it, wrong choice, wrong placing, wrong strategy gave us very bad results. But now that things have been set, I must give it to Eguavoen. He did his best, though he knew he was just, if he did hear technical advisor, if he did hear Yoruba means so don't look interim. But having seen the team to this level and now handing over the baton, because in the relay race you can't run all the race, you give it to somebody else. You are giving it to somebody else now. Let us see how we can give this guy the best support we can to give us the glory that we all want. Nigeria wants that glory.
All right, Nigerians want that glory. The glory is the reason why we are saying when we come back home and play just the way you are playing abroad. But then the issue of allowances not being paid has been an issue. Just recently, the money that was released by the president was paid to them, and there's a little out of it, meaning they are still being owed some allowances. Okay, that's for the Super Eagles. It was in the papers. But then I think the encouragement is pledging allegiance to your country and deciding to play for your country. Some of them are not playing just because they want money. Some of them just want to be patriotic because they already, majority of them already have money.
Money. We know money is never enough for anybody. But if it is enough, you wouldn't even reach your zenith. Okay? If Elon Musk is making so much money, and yet is still looking for much more money, but these boys are patriotic. I know the ratings that Ademola Lookman have gotten to now is paying some people that refused to join the Super Eagles at that time. There's so much regret in it. Now there's no turning back. So the ones behind are now saying, oh, I had better play for the Green Whites. Much more. Because if Ademola Lookman had played for England, would he have become?
I don't think so. Where's Tammy Abraham?
For God's sake.
Today.
So very many of them are looking at it and saying, oh, I want to be the CAF player of the year, even if it's only 1 year on. And for Nigeria, let us appreciate.
Well, kudos for the Nigerian team,
because we were able to. Victor Osimhen finished his reign. Another Nigerian man got into it. Possibly another Nigerian will be.
Oh, I like that dream. I love that. Possibly another Nigerian may be taking over the baton of the African Footballer of the Year. Meaning it's going to be back to back. All right, let's just keep our fingers crossed and see who's going to pick it from Ademola Lookman, or who's going to maintain it the second time, like the likes of Azizat Oshoala, and other persons have actually done in the past. Then moving to all the stories coming on TalkSport this morning. Super Eagles, and of course the Sevilla winger, talking about Chidera Ejoke, has his gaze fixed on qualifications for the 2026 FIFA World Cup with the Nigerian national team. According to the information coming to the media, the 27-year-old has already made his debut for Nigeria in 2020. That's a long time. During his time with Russian side, talking about CSKA Moscow. However, he is yet to score or assist a goal for the Super Eagles in the 8th cap. His last appearance in the green and white colors of Nigeria came in during the African Cup of Nations in 2021 tournament, where he actually played for 57 minutes in the Super Eagles 2-0 win over Guinea-Bissau. Maybe they just brought him in because they felt Nigeria was already winning. The former Hertha Berlin striker suffered a high-grade hamstring tear in Sevilla's 5-0 loss to Barcelona in October 2024, and recently just returned, playing 8 minutes in his side's win against Girona last Saturday. Upon his return from his lengthy spell on the sideline, the electric winger has already revealed that his plan is to break into Chile's side. How possible could that be, looking at the players that we have on ground? What's the possibility?
I look at situations based on the one who bears the cross, bears the bronze. For that young man to say he wants to play in the forthcoming World Cup, it means he has the will. And the moment you develop a will to believing in yourself, you are going to be very outstanding. So if we have hungry boys that want to make a full knowing of what they think of themselves, that is when we'll be playing much more better than we are playing now. I give it to that young man. Okay, that he had been sidelined for such a long time because of injury and etc., and now coming out to say that you are going to see him fire. He's going to come out smokingly hot, and the next thing you will see is we have another player of the year around the corner, and very many of them like that.
All right, let's see how all of that is going to end up. Now, moving to other things happening from Africa before we get to Europe. But then, before we get on, I want you to know that Congo has been thrown out of the competition. One of Nigeria's opponents in Group D of the African Nations Championship, that is CHAN, has been disqualified. The CAF Disciplinary Board announced this on Thursday, that was yesterday, that Congo fielded an ineligible player in their last match against Equatorial Guinea. Well, these things keep happening. You know, one of the things that has bedeviled the grassroots football in Nigeria is the issue of ineligibility and, of course, fielding overage players, and of course the issue of my boy must play, and all these things are playing out. And I'm so surprised that Equatorial Guinea is having a case of Congo, I beg your pardon, fielding an ineligible player. What do you think about that? I thought it's just in Nigeria alone.
It is Africa's illness. The Liverpool side that played in one of the European Championship had this little aged boys. There was one that was as tall as the mango tree, and yet that boy played wonderfully well, and they say he's just 17 years old. If that guy was to be a Nigerian, they will tell us that his tallness supersedes his age, and because Ramsey is the father, we should force him into the team. But let's come back to the issue. One of the things that had impeded the growth of sports in Nigeria has been the mercenaries and age fabrication. And which is why we are calling on sports administrators in the country. Let's come together and fight this thing silly. We have more to benefit, we will have more incentives, more rewards if we play our regular boys. The boys that we know have come through the ladder. You know them, I know them, he knows them, and etc. Play them. Put them in proper shape of mind. Why will Congo do that outfit? Because I remember in our own days, you mentioned Congo, you have to start thinking, from where do I go? How do I manipulate, and etc. Now, Congo is fielding for a game that everybody is watching. The documents are there to prove to you that this is right, this is wrong. Let us get to the field. Let the center referee misbehave. That's a different matter. But for me to support a team that fields a player that is not eligible, I heard they fine them $10,000.
Yeah, $10,000.
What is $10,000 to a country? What is $10,000 to a country? You should not fine them the more, so that next time we don't try it.
All right, so that next time we don't try it again. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about the fact that some persons are saying it's okay, get out of Sevilla. After this break, we'll talk more, and we are going to England, going to Italy, going to Germany, and other parts of the world after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back from that break. It is still Talk Sport with Ramsey Enoch on Global Television. Let's quickly talk about Finidi George, who has urged Iheanacho to leave Sevilla over poor treatment. The former Super Eagles coach Finidi George has urged Nigerian international Kelechi Iheanacho to leave Spanish La Liga side Sevilla for just the treatment that he's been given over what he perceived as a poor treatment of the player. What do you think? Are you of the same school of thought?
You know, age is not on the side of everybody in this world. You grow on a daily basis. So if you sit in a country, you sit in a club, and your usefulness is not in place, and age comes. Because Iheanacho, surely speaking, I don't know if we have his correct age now, before it becomes another. I wouldn't want to mention the name on air. so what I think is, let him take a critical look at his performance so far at Sevilla, and listen to proper words of advice, and from there he takes a decision. The decision to remain in Sevilla is Iheanacho's. The decision to go away from Sevilla is that of Iheanacho. So for me, I would have said, study the situation properly well, get a good agent. Because one of the things that is affecting us in Africa most is that our players do not have good agents. They just sign any paper that comes before them. My brother, go give that paper to somebody to proofread for you. Because as far as legal draftsmen are concerned, they will sneak in something into that document. So Iheanacho should actually look at himself and say, what am I still doing in Sevilla? Or you want to tell me that Victor Osimhen was not disappointed that made him to go to
Galatasaray. All right. So he should just make the decision himself. Think about it. Let's talk about an athlete a little bit. World record holder in the women's 100-meter hurdles, Tobi Amusan, will run her first race of the season at the Queen's Grace Jackson's meet in Kingston, Jamaica on Saturday, when she will hit the track in the 60-meter event at the meet. According to the information available to the media, Amusan is expected to race against the home girl and one of the Jamaica's finest athletes, talking about Jackson, making the first time they will be competing in the same event.
I am very glad things are happening this way. I don't know what really happened to us during the Paris Olympic. I don't really know what happened to us, but things are coming up now. So having our star players in action all over the world, like the mentioned young lady, gladdens my mind. That we also have the Mary we also have the Fadilat Ogunkoya, we also have the likes of Choma Ajuwan, because it is producing. Nigeria is vast. And we have the human manpower to rule the world of sports if the proper things are done. I don't know, I keep on repeating this thing, even in my write-ups, that let's do the right thing and get the right result. I wouldn't have wanted it to be only her there. Let's have other newly found laws
on the track too.
Our flags.
All right, that's it. That's the wish. Then let me just inform our fans out there that Chelsea is ready, and of course, Garnacho bid after Napoli offer was rejected. Chelsea are now poised to table a bid for Alessandro Garnacho after Napoli's offer for the Manchester United winger was rejected. According to the information right now, Fabrizio Romano, Napoli have seen an offer worth 50 million euro, and that's 42 million pounds for Garnacho, and it was rejected, and Chelsea are now ready their own offer. What do you think? Is that a good deal?
I want to see a situation where Nigerian players, African players are ranked in this manner. I am very, very selfish as far as this black skin is concerned. When I'm talking here about this guy on the screen, where is my Nigerian person there? Where is the African person there? The same manner of treatment you are giving this guy. Yes, they told Iheanacho to quit Sevilla because of the way he's been treated. Very many of the African players should quit the clubs they are playing for because they are not adequately rewarded in that vein. So if Chelsea is ready to pay such an amount of money, how much will he pay for Victor Osimhen? How much will he pay for Taiwo Awoniyi, Lookman, Ademola, and co? When we talk about sports in Nigeria, and especially football, and all our attention is drawn to the European sides, I don't know if that will ever make us English or French or Portuguese. It's a good offer for the young man, but Chelsea, how much would you pay for our own Victor Osimhen? That's where my question is. That's where my concern is.
All right, that's the concern right now, looking at what happened and transpired between Victor Osimhen and, of course, Chelsea in the last transfer window. Now, let's talk about Arteta right now. Arsenal is in a nice position to qualify for the Champions League. That's what the Champions League knockout stages. Arsenal's manager Mikel Arteta is the one making that statement, and he expressed his delight after his team's 3-0 win over Dynamo Zagreb in the Champions League. So now, with that statement, where do you see Arsenal? He said Arsenal is in a nice position to qualify for the Champions League knockout stage. It's one thing to be in a nice position, it's another thing to qualify. But Arsenal has not been doing badly.
Recently. I think my mama soup, no sweets. But I never fit open my mouth talk say my mama soup, no sweets. So the coach is entitled to his opinion. 9th position, a very good one, and he's going to show surprises. But the other teams are not going to wait for him to come and show them surprises. They will also get ready to show him surprises. So the game had just started. The heat is now on. Like I said, don't put Nigeria into any heating situation. Allow us to be the not favorites. But if the coach had opened his mouth to say they are now good to go, I'll leave it to him until he gets into the field, because it is not going to be the coach playing. It is going to be these 11 boys against the other 11 boys playing, and the results will be determined by their level of preparation.
All right. How would it look like? Okay. Let me just ask this question. Chelsea's defender Marc Cucurella has linked one player, Garnacho, of course, to sign Manchester United's Alejandro Garnacho in the fresh transfer window for Chelsea. And of course, Chelsea is being linked. What do you think? His arrival, and of course, moving for the Argentine international is still a rumor anyway, but then, how would it look like?
I sincerely think that for every technical advisor of a team, he looks at his players whilst they are playing and sees that there is a vacuum here. And spectators are much more technically inclined than even the technical advisors. They will be shouting and shouting and shouting on a particular player, get this player out of this team. So if a technical coach looks at his team and mirrors into it and say, team, give me this best hand to beef up some of the ill-prepared departments of the game, because each of the departments are to interwork, interrelate, internetwork to enable us to get the final results by scoring the goals that way. So I sincerely believe that the coach of Chelsea must have looked properly well and decided to do that replacement. It's just that I was thinking we will mention a Nigerian player on his side so that I can tell him that I'm one of his favorites, mind you.
All right, still talking about Chelsea. Starbeef to join Chelsea on 5-year deal. Starbeef is all set to join Chelsea on a 5-year deal from Kazakhstan club. As a matter of fact, this was disclosed by football transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, and of course he disclosed this in a tweet on his X account yesterday night. So is it a welcome development for Chelsea?
It is. I think Chelsea had suffered a lot in the last few years because of I don't want to use the word mismanagement, but the team needs to come up very strong again. It's one of the most reliable teams in Europe and of course in the world, and has a lot of followership. So in order for them not to dwindle to the extent that they lose ground entirely, will not be the best for them. So that they're bringing in this new crop of players in this window season, and they're signing 5-year. I think, well, let's give it to them that they know what they are doing.
All right. Let's give it to them. Let's just believe they know what they are doing. But then I think one of your statement is subject to defense. Or maybe when we begin to have hard tackles, we'll talk more about that. When you say Chelsea, we'll be waiting that you just give Chelsea now. You know, Chelsea fans now, everywhere they are now, they are happy, they are jubilating because of that rating that you just give them now, anywhere in the world. Okay. All right, Chelsea fans, Manchester United fans, Arsenal fans, all the La Liga players, in fact, every one of you, just rep your club. Any club you feel is stopping, just let me know, and I'll let Conway know, and probably we'll have a tackle right here so that everyone can rep their club. That's on the lighter note anyway. This is going to be the size of TalkSport and Global television this morning, and of course we can't exceed this level. I know sport is entertaining, and of course a lot of people love it because of the excitement, the disappointment, the intrigues, the surprises that comes with it. Of course, a very big thank you to you for joining us on TalkSport today. We hope to have you much more than this. And of course, all our fans out there, this is the Friday edition, the TGIF edition. Go out there and have fun. And don't forget that we are always there for you. Keep the tab on the channel. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Bye-bye for now, and have a wonderful weekend ahead of you.